Welcome to the Cayman Islands Classic for the third game of the day between the 7th-ranked LSU Tigers and the Virginia Cavaliers. Both teams picked up wins in day one matchups, and it is the team that we're going to preview, the Cavaliers and Tigers, here at John Gray Gymnasium. However, let's look at the slate that we have on the day. Two games took place prior to this one that we're about to tip off. We'll give you the results as Virginia Tech was able to sneak past Tulane, a near upset against the 9th-ranked team in the nation, UCLA. Kiki Rice doing Kiki Rice things. Number 2 team in the nation, still undefeated, and get the win against Niagara in a big fashion, 97-46. Virginia, LSU. We'll have that in just a few moments. In Kansas and UConn. 6th-ranked UConn took the loss to UCLA last night. They will finish us off for day 2 here in the Cayman Islands. Thanks for joining us. I'm Angel Gray alongside the former national champion at Notre Dame with Kelly Dayo. And looking at this preview, Virginia and LSU, this is the first time that they'll be seeing each other in program history. Some things you want to see in the matchup?
You know, I like the matchup. Right now, obviously, LSU out with some significant players, almost 30 points, not able to play in this game tonight for LSU. Other players are going to have to step up, but I like what I saw in Virginia, coming back to get that and secure the win. So many different people. They had over 40 bench points in that game, so healthy players back, and that's good news for Coach Mox.
All right, well, let's look at Coach Mox and what's going to be on the docket for her. Who's going to stand out to you? Cameron Taylor has been a huge piece on the inside.
Yeah, she was under her average yesterday, just 8 points, but that's because her bench came in and helped so much. 8 points, 3 rebounds to go along with that. She got a steal as well, but I just like the size inside that she brings on the defensive end. She is a rim protector. She is mobile in the post, has a great first step.
Haley Van Lith finished with 20 points yesterday. What does she need to do to get the win today?
I'll tell you what, Haley Van Lith is playing her best basketball right now. I've watched for years in a Louisville uniform, and this is the best she's been. Point guard for LSU. She distributed 7 assists in the game yesterday, 20 points to go along with a couple rebounds. She is one of the best guards and worth all the exposure that she gets.
Actually, her season high with LSU, 20 points that she got in the win. As we look at the Virginia starting lineup, and things have shifted quite a bit. We'll see Sam Brunell on the floor for the Cavaliers for the first time this season in the starting lineup. The story of last year was how she missed a significant amount of time due to injury. So to see the hometown kid back on the starting lineup with Virginia is going to be special for Virginia. And we'll go to the Tigers side. If you look at their starting lineup, that changes as well with an injury to Samaya Smith, the 6'2" sophomore, who actually had back-to-back 20-point games. A huge loss for the Tigers, already missing Katera Poole as well as Angel Reese. And Aaliyah Del Rosario, their freshman, will get the first career start with the Tigers. Merle Johnson, Williams, and Haley Van Lith are the remaining starters for LSU as we're just a few minutes away from kicking things off here for the third game. Joe Vasili, Fatu Sissoko Stevens, and Meadow Overstreet will be the officials for today. You can see a little bit more of an attendance in this third game, and we had a great showing yesterday as well in the third and fourth game. As the ball is up, LSU starts off with the ball, and Haley Van Lith in her new role at point guard, kicking things off for LSU, but start off with a turnover as she was trying to feed it to Anissa Morrow.
And I like look to go inside. You know, I think what LSU brings and where they have the advantage, their guards are long, they are strong, and they will take a direct line to the bucket, and they're hard to knock off and just so solid. Their strength and conditioning program has really paid off.
Outside shot, no good by the freshman phenom for Virginia. Kamora Johnson is a player that you highlighted for last game as Del Rosario able to put LSU on the board first.
And you love to see that, getting the opportunity to start already with two points.
Alexia Smith driving baseline, dishes that one off, and Pierce Clark couldn't get it there. Cameron Taylor on the cleanup, nothing. Brunell, third opportunity for the Cavaliers, and 3 missed opportunities at the rim.
And Sam Brunell just trying to stay with the play. Love the intensity on the offensive glass.
Anissa Morrow coming off of one of her most impressive games and season high with LSU as Smith is coming in the paint. We've got a fast-paced one so far. FloJay Johnson
And this is what we expected. And right now, Kimora Johnson with a very difficult task of staying on Haley Van Lith. She will have her hands full, as she is obviously not just a passer, but a scorer as well. Picks up the foul on that one. Great drive to the bucket.
And now that we have a chance to catch our breath, this is a fast-paced one so far. We'll take a look at the Virginia head coach, Amaka Agupa-Hamilton. They call her Coach Mox in her second season at Virginia, taking over a program that only won 5 games prior to her tenure. And then she went on to finish 500, 15 and 15, but missed the postseason play mainly because of the unhealthy bodies that she had within her roster, so had to forego attending the WNIT.
And I think that's why the stat line from yesterday, 49 bench points for UVA, was so important, because she's back to healthy bodies. She's only missing Mira McLean, the transfer from UConn, the only one still that is yet to be healthy, but she's got a lot of players on that bench that can do a lot of great things.
Went 11-0 in conference play last season. Actually lost her first non-conference game just a few games ago against Oklahoma State. Oklahoma, as another bucket goes down for Virginia.
Now, Paris Clark, a player that we have been anxious to see back in her full form. She was out with injury, got the start against Oklahoma, but had only played 1 practice prior. And now coach is assuring us she's had a lot of practices under her belt, and she's starting to look like a very healthy and very ready to go Paris Clark.
Dish pass on the inside to Smith, and one too many dragging of the foot, and that'll be a travel. So Kim Mulkey, also in her second season with LSU, third season with LSU, only person, men or women, to win national titles, a head coach, assistant coach, and player, coming off of the title, first in program history with LSU.
Rare miss for Michaela Williams down low. She had an incredible performance yesterday, 19 points, 5 rebounds for her, as Anissa Morrow goes up but gets it blocked by Sam Brunell.
Anissa Morrow had a double-double last night, 28 and 10, and a finish on the other end for Virginia. Johnson really shining when the lights are on the brightest.
This is a freshman, Angel. She does not play with the confidence of a freshman. She plays with the confidence of an upperclassman. She draws the tough assignment. She does some big things for UVA, but a finish there for LSU. This is going to be a fun game.
You know, I like a little bit of the trash talk we're seeing too on the baseline, as Anissa Morrow is able to finish over the 2 defenders that came in on the block. Cam Taylor is actually leading the team in points, off the mark there. And despite the bodies that may be different on the floor for LSU, as the dish on the inside by Haley Van Lith not connecting. Anytime you take on the Tigers, that target is on your back, and I know Kim Mulkey can't be happy with Johnson rebounding her own layup.
Yeah, and by the way, nobody else coming back. I think that's what would frustrate me the most as a coach, is to know that nobody was going to come back thinking that possibly she could miss. And I get it, she was wide open, but you want hustle every second of this game.
Finally, Van Lith asks for the screen at the top of the key, works her way around it. Morrow, 7 on the shot clock. Flage eyeing it, trying to work her way inside, and is bailed out by the foul by Smith.
Great defense there, but the foul is called nonetheless. Flage Johnson on her way to the bucket. Anissa Morrow gets the offensive rebound, and then the swat from Sam Brunell. Excellent job, Sam Brunell, getting her first start of the season. Obviously a long-time starter in her career, but coming back from injury, and she is ready to go. Knocked down 4 threes in the game yesterday. Was such an energy piece off the bench.
Mira McLean was one of those players last year too that missed a significant amount of time due to injury for Virginia, as Anissa Morrow has back-to-back buckets for LSU.
Look at the quick outlet and already up the floor.
Tie up underneath. It's been a physical start to the game as well.
I mean, I am so impressed with the level of that both these teams have come in with. I mean, very physical. They are locked in. Love the reverse there, finding Anissa Morrow inside for the bucket. Excellent job of distribution.
Left alone, Paris Clark drains the three from outside, and they take the lead here in the game. Actually, they're going to call that a long two, and that's something that we dealt with in the previous game. If the officials know which line that they're going to call for the three.
Johnson playing so hard on the perimeter defensively. We watched that in yesterday's game as well. And Clarkson causes the turnover.
A voice getting the charge as Poa just had to sit there to avoid getting the block call.
Paris Clark is officially back.
Michaela Williams, who got a hot start last game, actually has yet to score in this ball game, 0 for 2. A lot of bodies underneath and back-to-back buckets. Alexia Smith, able to get on the board for another one.
And Coach Mox wanted that foul. I think she has good reason. A lot of contact on this, but again, we talked about this in the last game. There is a part that I like that the officials will let them play physical, and both these teams, I think, want to play a physical game.
That one goes out of bounds. We'll see what it stays with. The Tigers will get it back as we have a couple of substitutions for both sides.
Both teams are locked in and loaded, ready to go for this matchup. First, the three by Paris Clark and the response. And then the miscue on offense by LSU turns in to offense for Paris Clark. She has been a one-man wrecking crew in this game early.
Those empty calories just leave you feeling empty. Enough sucky sucking, more power sipping. Jam-packed with whole fruits, organic veggies, and super boosters. So, no bad stuff. Only at Smoothie King.
Known for its crystal clear waters, cool blue skies, and playful residents. Enjoy a variety of water sports including paddleboards, jet skis, and sailing. Swim with the stingrays, relax on a luxury catamaran, whatever your fancy, dive, sail, play with Red Sail Sports.
Right now, the Cavaliers have a 4-point lead over the defending champs, and let's take a look at their season bio. Coming in 4-1 record. You may look at the second slash and say, select a 10th in the ACC preseason poll and say, wow, a little bit of disrespect there, but you also got to look at the amount of talent returning back to the ACC as well. Virginia getting healthy bodies back and have something to prove in this season.
Well, and if this first 6 minutes is any indication of who Virginia is, I can guarantee that number is going to skyrocket because nobody's going to want to play this team at this level. That's my question right now is, can they sustain this? This is an incredibly competitive, physical game, and I think whoever sustains this kind of energy will win it.
And think about Virginia Tech. We saw them earlier today. That's preseason pick number 1. We got UNC that has been very good on the season. Haley Van Lith in the corner drains that one, and so they make their way back into this one. Just a 1-point lead for Virginia. Johnson pulls up, in and out three, but she can definitely has the green light in order to pull that one.
It's a fluorescent green light for Kamora Johnson.
McDonald's All-American as Del Rosario gets blocked at the rim. Paris Clark trying to fight for the rebound, and we see a lot of tension between the two. We were just saying, are we sure that this is the first time these two teams have played one another? Because the physicality and the chippiness we've seen so far to start the inning, you would think they had some bad blood.
Yeah, you can see it, and there's no denying that. I'm sure even as a viewer, Haley Van Lith with the extra follow-through hold, maybe trying to make a point as well, but that was because for 1 second, Kamora Johnson doubled on the ball, and that is all the time Haley Van Lith needed to get that shot off.
The bounce pass on the inside to Anissa Morrow. She wasn't even expecting it, but when in doubt, send the ball her way, because the All-American is just so good when you're looking at how she can finish around rim.
Yeah, when you think about the level she was playing at DePaul, right? A leading scorer, leading everything, average double-double, set tons of records. And you haven't seen that player, which Kim Mulkey's been very clear, hey, she's not going to be that, because, and nor is Haley Van Lith, because they're coming into a pool of all great players. But I think that we are watching in these last few games this rise in confidence, and she is finding her spot, especially with some players who are out for injury and unavailable to play.
Coming off of a game where she had a double-double, season high for Morrow as well.
Virginia does a really good job of finding the backdoor cutter. You overplay Virginia on the wings, and those guards will make you pay in the backdoor. And Johnson tries to get that ball to Clark.
Johnson driving baseline, going at Poa. A lot of contact. They are going to call the charge foul. Great defense by last year Poa.
Yeah, she is a great player for this LSU team. Had some really solid minutes in the game yesterday. Stayed with her, tried to get in position, picks up the foul on her opponent, and great handling the ball. You see her bringing it up. She and Haley Van Lith on the floor together, both excellent ball handlers.
Michaela Williams has yet to score in this game. Send it on the inside. That's denied on the block by London Clarkson.
I love seeing the strategy by Coach Mox here. Doubling the ball screen, because out of that ball screen, they are looking for things to happen out of it. So there's no space for anybody to see. And then the rotation comes. Clarkson gets her hand on it there, tips it out. Excellent job defensively.
Del Zaro gets it back, trying to get it off on the rim. Didn't have time to gather herself as Vaughn turns down the look on the inside to Cameron Taylor. Virginia will reset. You can see the sense of urgency to score early in the shot clock. Off of a miss. Clark going at Michaela Williams. Held up by Anissa Morrow. 5 on the shot clock. Last second heave, almost goes down. Clark with the rebound and finds herself with a second chance opportunity.
8 points now for Paris Clark, who is just a few games back from injury. Incredible minutes.
Quasi Johnson at the scores table to check in at the next dead ball as Haley Van Lith met by Cameron Taylor off of that high screen.
Yeah, high hedge. Taylor knocks her off the line, but doesn't matter. Anissa Morrow, that's enough time that she needs to get that shot up. And that's where you wonder, will hedging high, if you don't have protection from the three-point line, is that going to be worth it? Will you give up those shots?
Anissa Morrow off to a good start. Has 5 points, 2 for 7 from the field as a foul is at the rim for Virginia.
So the help is on the ball screen. It's a high double, and then Cam Taylor not able to get back in time, and then there's the drive to the bucket. London Clarkson going in strong, gets the contact.
London Clarkson, the 5th-year forward, actually transferred in from Florida State.
She won the Teammate of the Year award at the Who's Choice Banquet last year after the season, which I think says a lot about who she is for this team.
gives her team the lead. Less than 2 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Blase tried to dish it on the inside tomorrow. That's broken up. So 4 early turnovers for LSU. And a hold on the inside. You can see the emphasis on the inside for Virginia.
They start in the horn set, and after the screen, diving into the paint, gives a good high-low look with shooters all around, so don't want to bring the double. And Michaela just trying to get around.
Third turnover for the Cavaliers as Haley Van Lith speeding up the left side, finishes at the rim.
Thanks her teammate, great pass for the layup.
Still goes to Poa. Van Lith now with 7 points. Another turnover for the Cavaliers, back-to-back possessions that were empty. Less than a minute to play. Morrow, Cameron Taylor got her off her feet, and Morrow is just having a field day in the paint so far.
She is so difficult to stop. She's got the skills of the guard when the ball's in her hands, but she's got post moves, like some of the best posts in the country, and Cam Taylor runs right into last year Poa. The second charge she has taken for her team.
So what do they call it when you get 3 consecutive stops on the end? The Tigers able to really get together defensively.
Yep.
Had to lead because of it.
Yeah, 3 straight turnovers, you're right. Cam Taylor now having to take a seat.
Van Lith. Paris Clark able to track it down, but is met on the other side, but Michaela Williams couldn't bring that one to a close.
Into double digits already is Paris Clark. The extra effort on the run out. And last year, Poa, are you kidding me? That's off a make.
Virginia's not going to be able to get that one off in time as the first one comes to a close, and it was a speedy one as the Tigers were able to have a surge of their own, go on a run and have the 21-18 lead after the first quarter.
I feel like this has been a tennis match with my head going back and forth because of this pace. Haley Van Lith stretches out in transition. Great pass from last year Poa, and then on the other side, Paris Clark retrieves it and finishes.
Those empty calories just leave you feeling empty. Enough sucky sucking, more power sipping. Jam-packed with whole fruits, organic veggies, and super boosters. So, no bad stuff. Only at Smoothie King.
For over 35 years, Tortuga has baked the original rum cake in Cayman. From our kitchens in our homes to exporting across the world, proudly baked in Cayman has always been at the heart of everything we do. Our recipe, handed down by 6 generations, has remained a secret to this day. Each Cayman cake is handcrafted and made with love, from our family to yours. Today we honor this tradition with our Cayman rum cake, exclusively made in Cayman, exclusively sold in Cayman. A Cayman tradition to be proud of.
LSU with the lead after the first quarter have hit 4 of their last 5 buckets. We'll take a look at their season summary coming into this tournament and dropping their first or season opener to Colorado, who was just upset by NC State.
Yeah.
How about The 6-1 start, selected first in the SEC preseason poll, #1 overall coming into this season as well, being the team that everybody had their eyes on what they were able to do in the transfer portal, bringing in some All-Americans, the #1 and #2 portal players and transfer players. But Angel Reese, that's been a question throughout the last 4 games now, not being with the team.
And as we mentioned early, you know, without Angel Reese, Kateri Poole, who's also not with the team right now, and then with the injury, hopefully not for long, but to Samaya Smith, that's 32 points that LSU is lacking. And Paris Clark is having a day.
Paris Clark already with 13 points in this ball game. She hit 92 total last season. She only played 1 game coming into this tournament. She had 5 points last game.
Transfer from Arizona. And she is finding a home here in Charlottesville.
Coming in off of injury, not like she was benched or anything for Coach Motz, but fighting her way back healthy. Top of the key, Brunel. As FloHoops Johnson comes down with the rebound. Michaela Williams has yet to score in this ball game. Pulls up off the mark.
Paris Clark was hot the first quarter, and she's been starting off the same way in the second. Gets the kick. Last year, Poa not out in time, and she makes her pay. 13 points now as she takes a well-deserved break.
More of a motion offense for Virginia that you're seeing. Vaughn with the ball at the top of your screen with 11 seconds. Works away all the way to the rim. Gets the and one.
Yanta Vaughn, not a name we've said a lot today. We said her name a lot yesterday. She was the leading scorer in the game against Tulane. Look at the drive and the finish against 2 defenders. 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and she made 4 3-pointers in that one. So she's not just going to go to the bucket. You got to defend her around the 3-point line as well.
And just her IQ, getting to the rim, her efficiency on the field, on the floor. 5 for 11 that she finishes. Haley Van Lith was able to gather herself after the fall. That's broken up. FloHoops Johnson gets the ball back and is able to draw the foul going against Olivia McGee. Olivia McGee picks up her first foul. FloHoops Johnson at the free throw line has yet to score in this game as well, have 5 rebounds though. So when you start thinking about the rotation of players being out and really impact players for LSU, other players have to revisit their role and what else they need to bring. And FloHoops has the athleticism, has the talent to really do and fill a lot of different baskets.
Yeah. When she's on the floor, she's a difference maker for LSU on both sides of the floor, and she has that intangible piece of like bringing the energy. She gets excited after every good thing, not just she does, but her teammates do as well.
Yes. So I do believe Haley Van Lith stepped on the line near the bench, so after she tried to track it down for a possession, Virginia will actually get it back as Cameron Taylor checks back in the ball game. That'll send Jillian Brown back to the bench for Virginia. 2-point ball game, 8 minutes and 11 seconds to go here in the second quarter.
And seeing Cam Taylor in the lineup made Kim Mulkey realize I got to get Del Rosario in there as well to defend.
Got her first career start with LSU.
Started out with a quick bucket in this one as well. Silver lining, right, to players being out is other players have to step up, and they have.
And checks in, and right away as Cameron Taylor is trying to get the ball on the block. Del Rosario picks up the foul. That's going to be her second personal foul.
Sometimes I laugh at those because I'm like, okay, you see how physical it's been in other parts of the game, and then you're going to call that.
Sam Brunel much time as she knocks down the triple.
And that's what she brings. The first start of the season today. And in large part because of the performance of yesterday. 4 threes in that game. She brings a lot of energy. She's been great on the defensive end as well.
Yeah, coming off of the bench, scoring in double figures. You mentioned 4 threes. 3 players for Virginia finish in double figures. Cameron Taylor wasn't looking for the pass from Vaughn, but Flau'jae Johnson tried to bring it in and actually went through her fingertips.
Fortunate for UVA to get that back. There's the 3. I mean, there is so little time that she needs. Turns around with her feet set, and there's an offensive foul on the screen.
Yeah, Alexia Smith just went above the shoulders too to make sure that she could get free of Poa. We haven't spoken highly enough of Laster Poa and what she's been able to do on this roster right now, defensively stepping up and being that anchor for them so far in the backcourt.
I mean, 2 charges taken on the defensive end. Those are the little plays that when I'm watching a game of basketball, I love that kid, right?
Yeah,
Anybody that's willing to step up and get a stop like that on defense, but also her ability to distribute. She's sitting right now in the point guard position, moving Van Lith to the 2 spot, where we all know, watching Louisville for the last few years, she's been dynamite. And she just gives another player who's an incredible ball handler to this very talented LSU ball club.
So Cameron Taylor picks up her second foul. She's going to head to the bench. Have 3 players with 2 fouls for Virginia. That'll be Alexia Smith, as we mentioned, Cameron Taylor, as well as Johnson. Anissa Morrow steps out.
What a box out by London Clarkson. She's doing the little things well.
Sam Brunel doesn't need much time. That one a bit wide right.
And ball will stay with Virginia. They say it touched an LSU player on the way out.
Inside, Clarkson didn't like the look. Able to track it down, 9 on the shot clock, Paris Clark.
Deonta Vaughn to stop the ball.
Anissa going at Sam Brunel with Cameron Taylor out, and that's a smart move.
Could be a highlight reel of just Anissa Morrow in this tournament. She was phenomenal yesterday. 28 points, 10 rebounds. And they say Olivia McGee stepped on the line. Olivia McGee getting her first start in yesterday's game. Came off the bench today, but look at this. First of all, grabs the difficult pass and 1-step bucket. Her strength is very difficult to defend.
That's the word I was going to use, just the power in her play just makes it very hard. Container on the block as Haley Van Lith, also a very powerful player, trying to get to her strong left side, working the baseline. That'll be the 14th foul. The next one will put the Tigers at the free throw line for the bonus. So they say it's the 14th foul. This isn't a bonus shot, but they're saying that it was with her shooting. I saw the foul. We thought it was called on the floor, but Haley Van Lith steps to the free throw line and knocks down the 2 of the pair. Beautiful execution at the rim for Virginia.
I love the set. 2 posts on the free throw line, and one just curls around the other. And the lead pass for the layup. Great look.
London Clarkson able to get the bucket on the other end. Look at all the attention Anissa Morrow is getting on the baseline. Wow.
And she just went up and grabbed it. She was like, that is my ball, and I'm going to take it. So the miss. Lots of blue jerseys around there, but look at that. Anissa Morrow just went up and snatched it and gets the foul as she tries to put it back in.
I will say this gets awarded because of her relentless play on block.
Just
She is just
pursuing it.
everywhere on the floor for LSU, and they're looking for that energy. They're looking for that spark, and Anissa Morrow has been able to be that so far in this ball game. I thought at the top, Sam Brunel actually got it clean off the block, though.
Yep. And I think, I said this yesterday, but with Angel Reese out and now Samaya Smith out, I almost think that it's in a way given Anissa Morrow permission to step up into the role of focal point, right? Especially inside the paint. And she's taken it on, and we're watching this surge in her offensive production. And it's been so important in these games for LSU.
Had 6 points in her debut. That was against Colorado. At 17 points, this team has really done a great job doing everything. And another offensive foul, and guess who's in the right place at the right time?
Anissa Morrow taking the contact. Odessa Noyen, they said, led with the shoulder. That's 3 charges now, 3 calls against the offense for Virginia, and you gotta credit LSU's stifling defense.
Flage, spin move, and they're actually gonna call a travel. All right.
I'm actually
That's going to be the 6th turnover for the Tigers.
I thought that was a legitimate spin move, but yeah, that's what I know.
You know a lot. On the inside.
Great rotation defensively. The LSU just cannot get a stop there. Yanta Vaughn picks up where she left off yesterday.
Yanta Vaughn knocks down the triple.
4 of those in yesterday's game against Tulane, 1 today.
Haley Van Lith is always the answer when you need a bucket.
She's Paige Becker's in that way, right? We watched that against with UConn against UCLA yesterday. Every time they needed a bucket, that's where the ball would go.
Yanta Vaughn.
All right, we're counting.
3-point sniper in this ball game so far for Virginia. Back-to-back threes for her. Wow, look at the take by Anissa Morrow, and over the back for Flage Johnson. 4 minutes to play in the second.
All right, if you are not a fan of women's basketball, I encourage you to get all eyes on this game right here. It's physical, it's intense, it's fast, it's chippy, and there is some good, solid play. Yanta Vaughn, her first 3, and then we're counting her second. Yanta Vaughn coming to play in game 2.
Those empty calories just leave you feeling empty. Enough sucky sucking, more power sipping. Jam-packed with whole fruits, organic veggies, and super boosters. So, no bad stuff. Only at Smoothie King.
Known for its crystal clear waters, cool blue skies, and playful residents. Enjoy a variety of water sports including paddleboards, jet skis, and sailing. Swim with the stingrays, relax on a luxury catamaran, whatever your fancy. Dive, sail, play with Red Sail Sports.
Well, we've got a great game on our hands, and if you're enjoying the Cayman Islands Classic, then be sure to check out FloHoops.com for exclusive content and post-game interviews. Join the conversation at FloHoops on social media platforms. College Hoops sits off here, and we're excited to have you. We had a free game that was earlier today, so everyone wanted to make sure that they streamed in to that game with Virginia Tech, and it was a great one to start things off. Tulane made it very hard for him to escape the Cayman Islands with 2 wins. And we have this one here, but we have the last one that's actually going to be streamed for free as well between Kansas and UConn. So FloHoops just really feeding into the women's sports and making it available to everyone.
Yeah, it's a twofer today, and I love their slogan, College Hoops tips off here, because this is the place where you watch preseason action, full coverage here on FloHoops. And obviously that in-conference action you can see as well, covering a lot of conferences, the CAA in particular, and just a great spot. You got to get a subscription because great basketball is happening right now, and in particular this game against LSU in Virginia.
I mean, you can just see it on Twitter everywhere, just like what's going on with the games. We almost had an upset just yesterday with Kansas and Virginia Tech. Then you have UConn and UCLA taking on the last game. I mean, this is all on FloHoops, like putting on one of the best tournaments we've seen in women's basketball. Feels really Marchy in November, right?
Outside of us being on an island in the beautiful Caribbean.
Despite that.
Yeah, despite. I've been to a regional in like Portland, which didn't feel like this at all.
The Blues have the 2-point lead over the defending champs in LSU. A rare miss actually by Yanta Vaughn, maybe just the 3-ball, her specialty for the day.
Wow, Jillian Brown with the rejection. Jillian Brown, a transfer from Northwestern, an outstanding defender. As you see, she does an excellent job on the defensive end, but Anissa Morrow on the offensive end gets that one to fall.
Anissa Morrow has 20 points in the first half, but still time on the clock. Vaughn taking it to the right. Wow. Wow.
Wow, that's the word right there. You know, that reminds me of Olivia Miles. Loves that one-handed, off the side, flip in, off the glass.
Regains the lead for Virginia.
Olivia Miles, who we miss seeing on the floor, cannot wait to get her back in action at Notre Dame to go along with Hannah Hidalgo. Can you imagine that backcourt?
My goodness. And Sonia Citron as well as Anissa Morrow. Short on the layup. Jillian Brown rips that out. A 2-on-1 opportunity. Clark, actually an ill-advised take as Last-Tier Poa has just taken a beating on the defensive end.
I'm so surprised that Paris Clark didn't just stop, because this is, that, first of all, that deserves a replay. Great job, Yanta Vaughn, but in place, waiting for it. She's taken 2 already. Her 3rd already in this first half of play. That's, as a coach, that's when I would just want to go scoop her up off the ground and just be like, you are literally the best. Thank you.
And that's the junior in that veteran type of play with the sophomore still, learning when and where to score in that position. Flage, beautiful take.
Everything but the finish.
Olivia McGee pulls up. How much energy does the ball have right now? So Jillian Brown steps on the baseline. That'll be a turnover for Virginia, and it'll be their 10th.
I don't know if I've ever seen more sideline or baseline out of bounds, like touches. The ball turnover because somebody stepped out of bounds. it's really interesting. We've had at least, I think, 8 to 10 calls here in this tournament.
Van Lith ties the ball game up with 1 minute and 10 seconds left in the first half.
And that's what you're talking about, right? I mean, don't even think the momentum is going to shift to Virginia's side when Van Lith is on the floor, because she's going to pop that bubble every time.
Jillian Brown actually goes off the foot of a UVA player, so LSU will get the ball back.
I like what Jillian Brown has brought to the game, her intensity and hustle. Yeah.
A lot of contact underneath as bodies went flying as a offensive foul goes against LSU.
Yeah, that's Jillian Brown again. So she trailed so quickly to Haley Van Lith that they could not close that elevator screen fast enough, and it turns out to be a moving screen. The official got it right.
18 on the shot clock for Virginia. Top of the key, you see Jan Tavon, who already has 2 threes on the day, and it will go right back to the Tigers on the same move, essentially.
Yeah, when that's got to be frustrating for a coach, especially late game, right? You want one shot, and you cannot move on those screens. And both coaches, right? Right now, Mulkey's saying the same thing about the elevator screen. Coach Mox, one opportunity to get a lead going into halftime. Whew, that would have been nice.
Poa inside. Morrow sends it back out. Time runs out in the first half, and of course we are stuck at 38. What a game we have on our hands as the defending champions trying to hold off Virginia. Doing a great job in the first half.
Yeah, an unbelievable effort by both teams. 20 points in the paint for UVA, 18 for LSU. The majority of their points just from the battle, down low and inside. Points coming from the bench, points coming from the three-point line. This has been a great game in the first half.
And on the other side, for Virginia, having this game tied against the 7th-ranked team in the nation, I'll tell you right now, Taylor has done a great job, but it's been Paris Clark with the 15 points, 3 steals on the day in her 17 minutes of play, who has showed up, the sophomore for Virginia, trying to lead her team to an upset win here in Cayman Islands. We'll have the highlights and tail of the tape after the break.
First off, I want to say thank you so much for allowing me to speak with you and the amazing audience that you guys have. Personally, this is a wonderful thing for me because I'm an avid basketball fan myself. But obviously having this Cayman Classic and having the teams that are here with their amazing followers and fans is beneficial to the Cayman Islands, because not only do we get the coaches, the assistants, and the players come to experience our product and our restaurants and our hotels and our scenery and our environment, but we also get the fan base that comes along. This year we have the women for the first time, and that's pretty awesome. I think because the women basketball groupings have grown more and more, and you can see that in the numbers, particularly with the WNBA, and I see that over the next decade it's going to grow even more. So it's time for the women to shine, and I'm so glad about that. This classic has also helped us with our local community. We have a strong basketball following here in Cayman. A lot of young people who want to be able to become basketball players, but they don't never get the opportunity unless they travel to the United States to see that top tier level of athleticism. So we love the fact that we can bring them here and show what NCAA can offer, and our kids are inspired by that. So the Cayman Classic has truly grown within our community. Basketball courts are being built all over our island now. The business community is supporting it heavily. So I think basketball is going to be a big part of our future here in the Cayman Islands. You know, when people go away, they want a number of things. They want safety, they want quality service, they want reputable brands with accommodations. Obviously, they want a wonderful environment, and they want kind people and amazing food, because you got to eat, right? And we score either an A or an A+ in all of those. And I think that that's what distinguishes us amongst the rest. Now, we don't produce a lot of things in the Cayman Islands other than kindness and smiles. And so we make sure that we keep focused on the little small stuff that people appreciate, so their memories can last forever. And I know you've probably heard this before, but the Cayman Islands is the #1 culinary capital of the Caribbean. So we have different restaurants with different palates. And when people spend their money in our economy, you know, they keep our people employed, and, you know, the government makes revenue through the various taxes. And besides the economics of things, what we love the most is memories. We're a very kind set of people. We feel so proud when somebody says, man, I love the Cayman Islands. It gives us joy, particularly whenever I travel. Oh, I've been to the Cayman Islands, it's so nice. That's really what we're all about.
Those empty calories just leave you feeling empty. Enough sucky sucking, more power sipping. Jam-packed with whole fruits, organic veggies, and super boosters. So, no bad stuff. Only at Smoothie King.
but if you think they've got the action in the moves, you might want to stick around because this game is tied at 38, and it's been nothing but a show between Virginia and LSU. We'll start with Virginia and how they've been able to take over, mainly because of their sophomore, Paris Clark.
Yeah, you can't talk about Virginia scoring and not talk about Paris Clark. 15 points in the first half. Goes up strong for the offensive rebound and finish. The step through, unbelievable precision from long range for Paris Clark. She has been everything for this team right now, has had some help as well from Yanta Vaughn. But LSU, Anissa Morrow has 20 points in the first half alone right now. The two transfers from LSU are proving why they were number 1 and 2 in that transfer portal. Haley Van Lith sitting with 12 points, Anissa Morrow with 20, and 5 rebounds for her. She has been so difficult to guard, to stop, and she has been everything for LSU.
Yeah, back-to-back games in this tournament where Anissa Morrow has 20 points. And mind you, as she finished with a double-double, 28 and 10 last game, she has 20 in the first half. Anything that stand out to you as far as the tail of the tape, looking at the numbers before we start the second half?
Well, you look at the free throws, lack of free throws for Virginia and LSU able to get to the line. We just talked to the officials. We all kind of agreed. We love the physical nature of this game, although Virginia not benefiting from the foul line.
So we'll get things going. A couple of the things that stood out is with Aaliyah Del Rosario getting her first career start due to the injury to Samaya Smith in the previous game. Aaliyah Del Rosario actually has scored 1 time in this ball game, so has 2 points. But then Flau'jae Johnson only attempting 1 field goal, and Michaela Williams has yet to score in this ball game as well. The only other game that she has scored in single digits was the second game where she was 9 and 15 points in that game against Queens.
And that was well defended. Virginia knew exactly what LSU was going to do, and Cam Taylor came off and guarded the curl very well.
Cam Taylor going at Leah Del Rosario on the block, and Michaela Williams will have Clark for the second half assignment. We didn't see a lot of Johnson in the first half. Warren Johnson played 7 minutes due to those 2 fouls.
Cam Taylor, also a player that hasn't scored. She was the one we highlighted early, and Del Rosario, an excellent cut toward the basket, receives the pass and finish.
Cornell left alone, and that's a bad idea.
Yeah, you can't do that. It's a layup for 33. Coach Mox encouraging her players. It's got to start on the defensive end.
Second 3 of the day or night. Where are we at this point?
I guess it's night. We just ordered dinner, right?
I don't know.
That must be coming.
Maybe we did. I thought it was Thursday, so there's that. Anissa Morrow at the rim just continues on her stellar play in this tournament. Now sitting at 22.
We wondered how these two would play together, right? Haley Van Lith and Anissa Morrow coming from 2 big programs, and we're watching it play out right now. They're not going to leave the court, I don't think. FloHoops Johnson on the floor. We mentioned her name a lot in the first half because of the physicality of her play, the little things she does, but she actually has not hit a field goal yet. Got 2 free throws, and how about this lapse in defense? Nobody on Sam Brunell, and another 3 to fall.
Gets her first start of the season. Paris Clark steps outside, 3 up, and can't knock it down as Del Rosario pulls down another rebound.
And Michaela Williams finally gets a bucket. Nice drive to the basket. We've talked about a lot yesterday, how difficult it is to guard her with her strength and size.
Kelly, they were able to score in the 5 seconds, first 5 seconds of that shot clock. Really starting with the advancement of Del Rosario.
That's exactly right. Great kick out, started the break, and able to find Michaela.
Michaela pulls up, another attempt on the way, nothing there as Anissa Morrow is fouled. This will be on the floor, and we'll see who the foul goes against.
Good job by Anissa Morrow to go up strong for that pass. There's the quick kick out. to Michaela Williams. The hesitation, acts like she's gonna shoot, takes it on the dribble instead, completely around her defender. And Coach Mock's doing what she does best, coaching her young kids.
Anticipated by Johnson. She has an opportunity to pass it up, and of course she's going to put the spin cycle on and gives another 2 for Kamora Johnson. 6 points now for the freshman.
Watching her there makes me miss the Kamora Johnson that we saw yesterday, right? I mean, she was doing that every chance she could, and that was a travel, or a carry rather, by Van Lith.
Might have been a late call, but it was made by Meadow Overtree. We'll go back to the steal, but the pick 6 on the other end.
Yeah, they just read the inbounds pass. Look at spin off the glass. Kamora Johnson said, "Don't forget about me" when you're talking about the scores for Virginia. Great finish.
Down 1. Jillian Brown with the turnover. Poked out of bounds by Virginia, and LSU will get it back underneath.
And London Clarkson has been phenomenal in her post defense. She's gotten her hand on the ball to tip it away on numerous occasions.
Anissa Morrow ducks in right away, never touched, never denied on the inside.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how they were setting up. Virginia had at least 2 players unguarded, and you can't do that with Anissa Morrow.
Well, you know, after a while, you have to think, where is the primary scoring coming from? Anissa Morrow was 20 points at halftime. You got to put a little bit of resistance on her at some point.
Yeah, you don't want to let her cut, right? You got to put a body on her early so she can't make her cut to the basket.
So I'm not sure if this is going to be a simultaneous call. Usually if the basket goes or is released at the time of the foul as well, we'll see if this is indeed good or not going to count.
So Jillian Brown with the kick out, and they're going to call the foul, it looks like first.
Yeah.
Clarkson does a good job of receiving contact. And all the little things, the intangibles that Clarkson is doing, none of those are going to show up on a stat sheet, but her minutes on the floor have been valuable for her team.
Haley Van Lith checks in for Michaela Williams. Kim Taylor has been quiet for Virginia to start. She has yet to get on the board. 0 for 5 in this game. The reach in by Flage. That attempt first to get to Del Rosario picked up. Flage just reaching in and picks up her second.
Yeah, those are mistakes from young players oftentimes. You don't want to foul about 90 feet from the basket, especially in such a tight game.
Tries to tip that one away.
Cam Taylor really wanting the ball inside. And I agree with her. I don't think there's been enough post touches. Leave it to Flage to pick up that rebound. Skies above the rest of everyone else in the pack.
Alexia Smith trying to contain Haley Van Lith, and you can tell right away this is the second player where they've gone on the inside.
Yeah, it's been a point of emphasis right now for LSU. And Virginia post players have to be careful that they don't continue picking up fouls.
Both teams sitting at 2 fouls as LSU have the 3-point edge, but it's been a good one to start. We got 5:26 left in the third.
Those empty calories just leave you feeling empty. Enough sucky sucking, more power sipping. Jam-packed with whole fruits, organic veggies, and super boosters. So, no bad stuff. Only at Smoothie King.
Known for its crystal clear waters, cool blue skies, and playful residents. Enjoy a variety of water sports including paddleboards, jet skis, and sailing. Swim with the stingrays, relax on a luxury catamaran, whatever your fancy. Dive, sail, play with Red Sail Sports.
You think Santa Claus is excited about the action on the court today?
He should be. He's getting a game.
He doesn't look too for real, but I can tell you what, this has been a great game that we've seen 38 tie at half. Right now, LSU has the 3-point edge over Virginia. The officials told us, Joe Facility, the head official, told us that the basket was indeed no good for Virginia. They're trying to see if they can get the shot off as well. I believe that's Haley Van Listad in the stands. Tigers traveling very well here to the Cayman Islands.
We saw some Hawkeye fans as well. Look at that, behind her dad. You see the Hawkeye representation. No, they're not here, but they want you to know they are here.
Isn't it like the statement, seeing that was the title game, and you see Hawkeyes everywhere now.
Yes, yes. You know, we had a conversation with Joanne P. McCallie, the executive head of this tournament, and she was talking about that, just how the progression of women's basketball and how even the fact that Caitlin Clark stayed home and what that's done for Iowa and how other players have done that for their local schools and made it such a huge following. Wow.
Flajay skying in, gets the blocks against Johnson. Hoa can finish, and Anissa Moreau on the left side. Just can't be stopped on the interior.
She's so strong, and she finishes so well. She skies above her defender and has great hands to finish high at the rim.
Less than 10 on the shot clock. Kamora Johnson sends it to Brunel. She likes that side of the floor, and you can see why.
I mean, Haley Van was a fingertip away from getting her hand on the ball. I don't know how Brunel got that off.
Johnson all the way to the rim, gets the and one. Free throw on the way for Flajay.
Flajay's eyes look toward the screen that she was not going to take. And that was enough to get Paris Clark hedging in that direction, and she just took the lane to the bucket.
So after not scoring in the first half, Flajay Johnson, we're seeing her emerge here in the second.
And her coach had a few words for her coming out earlier. I think this was the answer she needed, the bucket, the finish. Flajay Johnson also picks up the foul, a chance for a three-point opportunity after this.
Those empty calories just leave you feeling empty. Enough sucky sucking, more power sipping. Jam-packed with whole fruits, organic veggies, and super boosters. So, no bad stuff. Only at Smoothie King.
For over 35 years, Tortuga has baked the original rum cake in Cayman. From our kitchens in our homes to exporting across the world, proudly baked in Cayman has always been at the heart of everything we do. Our recipe, handed down by 6 generations, has remained a secret to this day. Each Cayman cake is handcrafted and made with love, from our family to yours. Today we honor this tradition with our Cayman rum cake, exclusively made in Cayman, exclusively sold in Cayman. A Cayman tradition to be proud of.
The lead over Virginia right now, 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Anissa Morrow has really put her foot on the gas in the second half after finishing with 20 in the first.
She is showing us a little of what we used to see from her at DePaul, just taking over in a game. 26 points. She's 11 of 20 from the floor. She's gotten to the foul line as well. Add 8 rebounds to that stat line. And the energy she plays with, the rebound, the finish. She has been so hard to stop for LSU.
Opened the season, as we mentioned, for her debut against Colorado with 6 points, and we've seen a different Anissa Morrow since then. Has scored in double figures every single game since then, and has now back-to-back games with 20 points. Clark has gone cold in the second half. Paris Clark had 15 points in the first half. Still sitting there. Master Pola picks up the foul, so it will be sent back to Virginia. Brunel from the other side of the floor. If you're looking at a shot chart for Sam Brunel, if you have her on the wing, it's winner, winner, chicken dinner.
I'm betting on that, and I'm not a betting person, but I'm betting on that. That's a sure bet right there.
Makes it a 2-point game after that triple from Sam Brunel. That'll be her 4th of the day.
Baseline out of bounds play, running her off a couple screens. Look at this, the delivery by Vaughn. Open, but not even wide open. Still though, able to finish.
High hedge on Haley Van Lith. Clark. Del Rosario asking for him on the block. Instead screens, Poa splits it. A lot of contact in the block charge as Poa made her way to the rim.
Yeah, when you hedge on a ball screen, you cannot give that much room. And she allows for Poa to just cut right through, split the defense. Gosh, I thought she was set.
Kayla Williams checks back in for the Tigers. Celia Del Rosario will check out. And a timeout will be called. Kim Mulkey wanted that last free throw to go down for last year Poa. Kim Mulkey is pretty successful when you look down at her resume. I mean, 7 national championships as a player and coach. That's including getting one at La Tech. She has a statue on campus now, and that was pretty special to see. But even her winning the 2 titles at Baylor and then now one in her second season, actually now in her 3rd season, but winning the title in her 2nd season at LSU, the first in program history. I mean, Olympic gold medalist, it goes on and on about what she has, you know, made her impact on this game.
Yeah, she's won national championships at multiple stops along the way. I love that she's the only person to win as player, assistant, and head coach, and that's men or women, by the way.
Paris Clark has been held scoreless in the second half, so that's an adjustment we've seen from the defense for the Tigers as we have a jump ball, and it looks like it will go back to Virginia.
Well, we've mentioned the physical nature of this game, and this is what we're talking about. Look at the hustle for the loose ball. Trying to get in there, getting possession. Cam Taylor doing everything she can except scoring. That is the last thing we're waiting to see from number 20. And they're going to screen for Sam Brunell. Look at that. Open again. Nope.
It's not from the wing, though, Kelly.
That's what it was. So I wouldn't bet on that shot.
Anissa, power move, spins on the inside. Alexia Smith with the rebound. Smith surveying. Yanta Vaughn.
When you're in transition defense, the number one no-no is to go everybody into the paint. You have got to fan out and find shooters. Look around, communicate.
Yanta Vaughn with her second triple of the night. Between her and Sam Brunell, they have 6. Park misses at the rim and was left alone, and pretty sure she wants that play back.
You're not going to get that open against the LSU defense very often, and she wanted that back, but here is the kick in transition. Yanta Vaughn, yet another 3. 3 for her already in this game.
Kayla Williams takes a seat as Cam Taylor checks back in. Harris Clark at the free throw line, the sophomore that had a sensational start in the first half, ties the ball game at 53. Less than 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter. So Sam Brunell turns around to see who the foul is going to be called against. And it is indeed Sam Brunell, which is going to be her 3rd foul.
Del Rosario, great post skills inside. Imagine going against Angel Reese every single day in practice and how that elevates your game. Now she gets a chance to showcase it on her own. Got her first start today. And she has put together some solid minutes for LSU, both on offense and on defense. She's been a rim protector inside with her height. She's rebounded well. Doing a great job. 4 boards to go along with the 5 points.
Yeah, had her season high 14 points. She had Texas Southern, actually had 5 rebounds 2 times on 2 different occasions. Right now with 4, so just a great opportunity for her to continue to grow. Might have forced that one there at that end.
Yeah, that's a situation where you know you've just had this great half, right? And you want to get back into the groove, and Paris Clark, I think, needed to hand that one off.
Anissa Mara outside.
And when you make small mistakes like that, LSU will make you pay.
National Freshman of the Year back in 2022. And we're seeing it on full display. Minute to play in the third. Smith outside 3, no good. Bounces around, and Virginia comes out with the ball. Vaughn turned down the 3. And her teammates looking like, why?
Me too.
You know that she is knocking out 3 threes for us, right?
That works.
She elects to go towards the rim, doesn't draw the foul, and here comes LSU. Haley Van Lith in transition finds Poa. Beautiful textbook transition offense for the Tigers.
What a pass by Van Lith in transition, and Poa the hands to receive it and finish.
the inside to Cam Taylor for her first bucket of the day.
We were waiting.
Poa to the rim, finds Delzario, just misses at the rim. As we're still at a 2-point game after the 3 frames.
The game of women's basketball just continues to elevate. There is so much to watch here in this one. Still a quarter left, but Morrow makes Virginia pay from a missed shot earlier. And how about the pass ahead and the vision? Looks off the pass, the finish inside by Poa.
Those empty calories just leave you feeling empty. Enough sucky sucking, more power sipping, jam-packed with whole fruits, organic veggies, and super boosters. So, no bad stuff, only at Smoothie King.
Known for its crystal clear waters, cool blue skies, and playful residents. Enjoy a variety of water sports including paddleboards, jet skis, and sailing. Swim with the stingrays, relax on a luxury catamaran, whatever your fancy, dive, sail, play with Red Sail Sports.
Two-point game as we head to the fourth quarter. You got some fans on both sides. We've seen fans from everywhere. You got the Who's in the building. You got the Tigers that are in the building as well. We got UConn fans that are waiting for their game. That's going to be the final game that they have against Kansas for tonight and the tournament. And we saw a couple of Hawkeyes too. Iowa in the building.
Yeah, that seems funny, doesn't it?
Yeah, very interesting.
Iowa not one of the teams being represented here, but
they're not.
They're sending fans.
So, are they traveling? Are they traveling with the LSU fans? That would be quite the concept.
Everybody remembers that final game.
As they should. It was, definitely one to go down for the ages. One of the best games you've seen in women's hoops. Anissa right out of the timeout takes the bump and one. She might be flirting now with 30 points.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was a late whistle. If there had not been a call on that, I would have been frustrated. But gets the call, look, turns into the double, and too much contact. Still the finish and the slap. I love it. She said, that's what I'm talking about.
And the mob crew that has been excellent.
Oh, no.
For the tournament. Lisa's been working hard. Anissa Morrow ranked the #2 player in the transfer portal by ESPN. And it's not too bad when you get to go over with the #1 transfer in the portal with Haley Van Lith on the floor with her as well. Knocks down the free throw as they now extend their lead 61-56.
And Haley Van Lith earning the respect of her teammates early. She was voted captain of this team, which I think says a lot about her leadership potential and qualities. I mean, you don't get that coming in for just a few months if you're not this exceptional leader.
Alexia Smith flying through to get the rebound and got fouled on the attempt to put back.
And the rebound by Alexia Smith. By the way, I don't know how she got that over FloHoops Johnson. But Haley Van Lith comes up with a foul on that one.
Bill Rosario now with 3 fouls. Michaela Williams also the only player with 3 fouls for the Tigers. Missed both. Anissa on the outside now, sends this one into Del Rosario, but picked up the pivot foot.
And they're sending the double to the block, so Nisa Rosario needs to be a passer.
11 turnovers for the Tigers.
I want to see Kimora Johnson go after her own shot.
A little bit of over dribbling for Yantavon at the top of the key. Inside look, Sam Brunel trying to track it down. We'll see where it goes. Might have been tipped last by the Tigers. 3 on the shot clock, so they'll get it back underneath. Johnson lets it go. They wanted the foul in the corner. They don't get it as the Tigers pull up. And Haley Van Lith just dropping to the floor on that attempt against Smith. Not sure what just happened. And that is just not something you want to see for the Tigers.
No.
Already lost some Maya Smith to a knee injury on the end of the bench right now with the brace and crutches. And now Haley Van Lith on that attempt. And just right there, you can just see stops. Good to see her walking off on her own will. They will take her to the locker room though.
And the gym could not have been more quiet. You hate seeing a player, any player, go down when you know that it is a player like Haley Van Lith and what she brings to this, not just to LSU, but to women's basketball. You hope everything's okay. Hope to see her back in the game.
So now more adjustments for LSU. They have one of the deepest benches. And we'll see if he can put to test as Flauja couldn't get the foul going on that attempt. Johnson coming down the floor, sends it up this floor to Smith, and Smith finishes at the rim.
Excellent finish by Smith, and I just love the pass, the vision. I thought that ball was going to go to Brunel on the wing, but the slip by Smith to the bucket. Look at this, Kimora Johnson. I think everyone thought the ball was going to Brunel. Instead, the 2 and the bucket. Look at the finish. She has skied up in the air.
So the tough news about that is Haley Van Lith now goes to the locker room, and then Aaliyah Del Rosario, who had to come into her first career start with LSU because of Samaya Smith on the bench, now has 4 fouls.
And that actually is important, and I imagine Virginia is going to try to target the inside, because when you play with 4 fouls, oh yeah, they're going to call the foul on LSU pushing through the screen.
Yeah, last year Poa picks up the foul there. That'll be her 3rd.
And on the other side, Del Rosario gets great position, turns. Johnson trying to take the charge. I love the no call on that.
Cam Taylor going right at Del Rosario. I mean, that should be the focus going down every single time if you're Virginia.
Has to be, because you can't play as physical as you would if you're Del Rosario sitting with 4 fouls.
Stoppage of play. We had a whistle.
Yeah, they're going to call a foul. I think it's on Flage. It is.
So now Flage Johnson picks up her 3rd foul with 7 minutes left to play in the ballgame. Haley Van Lith, we just saw walk from the locker room. She rejoins the team on the bench. Looks like she's giving everybody the okay. We'll see if she can return to the game.
That's good news for Kim Mulkey and the rest of the Tigers.
Right away, runs the scores table and checks in.
Yeah, even if I'm not an LSU fan right now, I'm cheering for that one, because at this point, you don't want another injured body.
Cam Taylor blocked at the rim by Anissa Morrow. Attempted steal by Johnson. How impressive has Anissa Morrow been in day 2 after 28 and 10? More impressive in game 2.
I didn't think she could get better than 28 and 10, but we're sitting at 31 and 11.
The held arm on Poa. She's able to get the ball off the rim. Doesn't get the bucket to fall, but will get 2 free throws.
And the bench for LSU was heated when that foul occurred. I'll tell you, the Poa is just calm, cool, and collected. She doesn't show a bit of emotion. And here's the block. Add that to the stat line for Morrow.
Last year, Poa has done a little bit of everything for the Tigers, stepping up and the starting lineup now has 8 points. Lennon Clarkson checks back in the game for Virginia. Johnson hesitated, then double clutch for the 3. Anissa, dish on the inside. Michaela Williams, and that's just the offense we're used to seeing from the Tigers as they push their lead to 8.
I was a second away from saying that's 1 too many passes, but then LSU proved me wrong. What incredible distribution on the offense as Coach Mulkey coaches her point guard. The screen, the roll, the help comes over, just not rotation fast enough to the low block, and Michaela Williams able to get 2. LSU with a lead. Can they hang on?
Those empty calories just leave you feeling empty. Enough sucky sucking, more power sipping. Jam-packed with whole fruits, organic veggies, and super boosters. So, no bad stuff. Only at Smoothie King.
This is the biggest lead for LSU as they now have the 67-59 lead over Virginia. Had the tie at 38 at halftime, and we've seen 14 different lead changes in 13 times within this one. It's been great throughout, but what does Virginia need to do to get back into this one?
I think they have to start playing as a cohesive unit. I feel like LSU defense is forcing them to start panicking. You got some players trying to take things on their own where they have to settle back into that very fluid offense that got them to this place in the first half.
Virginia only has 3 points in this quarter. And then UConn will have the matchup next after this one. Paige Becker's coming off of a game in the loss to UCLA, though, having 30 points. We'll see how they respond against Kansas today.
And Kansas, a very tough team. And we saw them go to the wire with Virginia Tech, very deep team. I liken them to a Colorado, where a lot of players came back. They're deep at every position. 4 players average double figures.
Paris Clark gets a foul there. That'll be her third. Well, Paris Clark, after having 15 points in the first half, only 2 in the second.
Cam Taylor, too, not in the game right now, but somebody we expected to be a little more dominant inside.
Haley Van Lith relocates. Off target. And Anissa taking some extra time to get up. Might just be a contact, and she needs a little time to regather.
It looks like it would have just been easy enough to go up for the rebound, but not when you've got Anissa Morrow. Watch the way she comes in. We're not going to get it on this screen, but yeah, there it is. It just comes in and disrupts everything. Unfortunately, lost contact, I think, in the process.
Surprisingly, I haven't seen this a lot. I remember growing up in different games, and it was like every quarter.
Yeah.
You had to look down and say, okay, wait.
Look for the contact.
Search for the contact.
I was actually thinking the same thing when he said that. It's been a while. And she needs it because she's working on, I mean, I don't think she can get 40. Maybe she can. I don't know. 31 points right now. She can get 40.
Sam Brunel and Yonta Vaughn have been the offense on the outside from 3-point, and just Alexia Smith takes her eyes off the ball. Just sails out of bounds.
And full court pressure being applied by UVA. I love the adjustments. And Glastier Poa did not want Kim Mulkey to take that timeout. She turned to her and said, no. But the coach is always right.
So 2 timeouts remain for both sides. LSU has made their surge. We talked about what Virginia needs to do in order to get back into the game. Just down by 8, but what are some things that you've seen from LSU? Anissa Morrow probably at the top of your priority list.
Yeah. I mean, Anissa Morrow has done everything for LSU, and we're going to have the delight to watch a lot of these clips. I mean, the way she is going after the offensive glass, the power that she takes to the bucket. She is so difficult to guard because of the way she finishes, the physicality inside. And she has, I mean, she has definitely found her spot here at LSU, and she wants to do what she was never able to do at DePaul, and that's win a championship. That's why Haley Van Lith is here as well.
Take on the inside, short, Flage, blocked at the rim by Brunel. There's Clark. Struggling in the second half, Anissa Morrow gets the pass from Flage. And the finish, with a nice kiss to the sky. Poet went to go for the steal, but instead gets a foul, so that'll be her fourth, but they extend their lead to 10.
Anissa Morrow cherry picking a little bit. Gets the pass, and look at the finish extended arm. Fans love it.
So because of the foul for last year, Polo picking up her fourth, that'll send Virginia to the free throw line for the rest of the quarter. See the game as we're in the fourth.
And right now, Virginia just needs a boost. I don't know if it's Sam Brunell on the three-point line, or you know what? Let's start getting Kamora Johnson involved here. We watched her yesterday just pick apart the defense, find her spots. I think she can get going. Young freshman who is just a huge bright spot for UVA.
5 points in the quarter for Virginia. They're just 1 for 9 from the field. Get the steal on the inbound attempt. Johnson going at Haley Van Lith. Brunell lines up, and that rolls in. I've never seen a three roll in that way.
Well, she was on the wing.
Another steal. Outside, Johnson lines it up.
Can you imagine what the crowd would have done with a make there?
They would have brought it within a one-possession ball game.
The kick to Brunell, she fakes like she's gonna pass and then just spins it in.
Tipped away by Anissa Morrow on the block. That could have been a layup. Mikayla Williams on the other end, and Brunell actually picks up the foul on the other end.
Coach Mox can't believe it. To be honest, I can't either. To be fair, though, I was not down on the baseline. I couldn't see. It looked like she just tipped it. I'll get a better look. Oh, looks like a tip to me. We said Virginia needed a boost. It started with their defense. Love the change to pick up full court for Coach Mox, the adjustment made, and 2 turnovers were forced out of that full court pressure.
Kayla Williams knocked down both free throws. Sam Brunell with 4 personal fouls. Clark as well for Virginia with 4. How about Haley Van Lith and her effort on the defensive end? Almost coming up with the steal.
And that time Johnson used the screen. Totally missed it the first time.
Caught watching, Brown streaks in and finishes on the air ball. Haley Van Lith working on the sideline, able to advance it up. Jab, sends it, Anissa Morrow, dish. That's a 2-man game you can get used to.
Number 1 and 2 transfer out of the portal, and they get to play together. How fun.
How did that roll in for Brown? Jillian Brown. Now with 4 points.
Low set, and then a high ball screen.
Ajay gets the rebound, sends it to Mikayla. Anissa Morrow and 1. Actually, they're going to say it's an offensive foul.
Wow. Kamora Johnson almost turns the ball over in transition. UVA has got to make some smart decisions on the next few offensive opportunities.
So actually a turnover for Anissa Morrow. Wasn't called for the offensive foul there. Johnson poked away by Anissa Morrow on her attempt to the rim.
UVA gonna need a quick shot, just 3 seconds on this shot clock.
As it goes out of bounds, and just a missed opportunity for Virginia.
And that is where you just, I mean, 2 minutes and 4 seconds and an opportunity to make it a one-possession game, and you throw it out of bounds from a baseline out of bounds play. Yeah, those are the ones you have to execute. And LSU trying to take some time off the clock.
They'll use as much of the clock as they can as we're under the 2-minute mark for the fourth quarter. Michaela Williams firing up, did hit the rim there, and that's passed out of bounds by Anissa Morrow.
I'm not sure there is a better ball hunter than Anissa Morrow. She goes after every ball, offense, defensive rebound, whatever it is, she gets it.
35 and 15, and a nice finish on the other end by Johnson. Haley Van Lith. Stop and pop, and this one is all go. A travel call is what the LSU staff wants, but a foul is going to be called instead. And if it's going to Virginia, I do believe free throws are on the way.
And we get the advantage of the second look. Maybe not. We're going to watch the free throws instead.
Jillian Brown, perfect from the free throw line coming into this tournament. Knocks down the first of the pair.
And there, we're going to get a look at it right here. The arm grab, yes, she did. I agree with LSU. There were some steps, but it was as her hands were being held. So that's the right call by the official.
Jillian Brown misses the first free throw of the season as we're under 1 minute in just a 2-point game, Kelly.
I mean, how incredible have these games been?
Yeah.
We didn't know this would be the case, but every single game, I mean, we've had a few blowouts, but wow, I mean, every team has showed up to play.
So with the next foul being both teams in the bonus, Virginia right now in the bonus. Do believe that LSU has 1 timeout left. Virginia has 2.
And, you know, I think what they were concerned about when the foul or the timeout was called after LSU put the ball on the floor, which means they do not get to advance the ball. The ball will stay down on Virginia's end, and they'll get the side out of bounds from that point. You have to call a timeout before you put the ball on the floor in order to advance.
And now you start looking at who you want to send to the free throw line if you need ball back, but you don't have to foul in this possession.
Yeah, that's right. 25 seconds of good defense is all UVA needs right now. And you don't want to foul, and if you're UVA, a defensive rebound is essential in this moment.
Kayla Williams to the rim, and Flau'jae Johnson gets the rebound. Another foul is going to be called, so that will send actually Flau'jae Johnson to the free throw line.
That tells you how important those rebounds are. We've seen it from Flau'jae Johnson. We have seen it from Anissa Morrow. They have made it so hard to rebound the ball for Virginia. Comes really seemingly out of nowhere and gets her hand on it. What a huge play.
We talked about Flau'jae Johnson, just 1 for 6 from the field, 5 points. This is a free throw there, but 15 rebounds that she's added to her stat line.
Anissa Morrow also with 15, the 2 we mentioned, and she makes it a 2-possession game. That was an important free throw. So a two-possession game. Obviously, Virginia can elect to take 2-3 or 2-2s if they want to. But you know what? I'd go to that girl because she has been dynamite from long range. I don't know how she remains open. On my scouting report, she'd be circled and starred, and no room is what they would say underneath it in all underline and highlight. But Sam Brunell has been a game changer today. All her attempts from three-point land.
You mentioned being able to start for the first time this season. More than anything, it's just good to see when players can make their way back after injury, missing a substantial amount of time with Virginia last season. A lot of high hopes, great start. We already mentioned the best start in program in the tenure too, with Coach Mock stepping in after only winning 5 games in the previous season, go 11-0 in non-conference, and that was a team where she got them back to being ranked. And then the injury bug hit, so just to see Sarah Brunell being able to step back on the floor is special. Had a special night so far against LSU. 31.9, just a one-possession ball game as LSU. Yeah, very interesting that Sam Brunell is not on the floor right now for Virginia as they're just down 3 points.
I know she has 4 fouls. I don't know why that would come into play.
Right, you'll see more offense defense if I'm correct, right?
And there's still quite a bit of time for UVA.
They're
going to check it. Oh, no.
Yeah. The officials will go to the monitor just to make sure that it is indeed going back to Virginia. They can check that, and we'll take a look here. And I think they do better if they have it right. Kent Taylor was behind. I don't know if there's another angle, but from that view, it looked like it went off of LSU. So it would have to be very clear to reverse this call. Maybe the other angle might be the best one.
Yeah.
To deem if it stays or not.
And I guess maybe that angle was for the clock, and they have determined 23.0 seconds will be put on the game clock. And I don't think it's going to take too long to see that LSU is in fact the last to tip it out of bounds. Sometimes the officials take longer than I think.
Or we hope, because this is an extra timeout as well for both sides with the extended amount of time to review this. Both teams do have 1 timeout left. I think this is good angle right here. I think this one might be the one. The one before this one.
Oh. Yeah, it looked like Anissa Morrow is the last to touch it with her left hand, actually.
Lot going on in there. That's the last touch right there. The left hand for Anissa Morrow. That one right there is going to keep it with Virginia. So 23 seconds on the game clock, 20 on the shot clock, as it did hit rim, so they got a bit of a reset there. Sam Brunell checks back in the game after missing that last possession. Sam Brunell in the corner as Johnson comes off. Taylor streaking to the basket. Just 12 seconds in this game. Brunell goes up top. Just short on the 3. 4 seconds left as the Tigers get the rebound on that play.
That was actually an incredible shot by Sam Brunell to use the screen and get open. So first Johnson tries to go off the screen. Nothing happened there. Cam Taylor comes up for another. Sam Brunell curls around the screen there, gets a good shot and a good look.
That'll do it.
Yep. That is likely the ball game.
2.9 in a 2-possession ball game as Anissa Murrow has 36 points and 16 rebounds. And counting. So Virginia calls their last time out to advance the ball, but they'll have to have a magic trick up their sleeve to score 5 points in 2.9 seconds to close this game out. Do you like the look at the end of the game that we saw from Virginia?
I don't know. I mean, I like the ball in Sam Brunell's hands right there, and she got herself a shot. So in that respect, and right, they're just one possession down at that point. So that's what they were looking for. But, you know, and the good news is they had shooters on the floor. They got Kimora Johnson, who could have taken a shot, but that was actually a pretty good look. And the rebound, and again, that's where you go back to rebounding. Rebounding is so important in these late game situations. LSU just dominant.
A foul at the rim. Not much time came off the clock, so Taylor will get 2 free throws.
I mean, that could not have benefited Virginia anymore with how little time came off that clock. What a great pass inside.
Kelly, we've seen crazier things.
Yeah.
So Sam Brunell will take a seat. Tough night at the office for Cameron Taylor as she's just 1 for 9 from the field. These are actually her first free throws of the game.
So now LSU will advance the ball. And the best thing that UVA can hope for is a quick foul. Sends them to the line in hopes that somebody misses both free throws, or of course, even better, a steal on the inbounds play.
Wouldn't that be just not even the icing on the cake?
Right.
We have one more game after this one.
It would be appropriate, right, for what we've seen. Tulane, Virginia Tech, going down to the end. Kansas, Virginia Tech yesterday, UConn, UCLA. We've had some great games here at the Cayman Islands Classic. And right now, I imagine that Coach Mox is drawing up a play that will have to be a heave, right? As soon as if they get a steal, something where they can set up a 3-point shot.
Yeah.
A look at the basket. It will have to be a very quick foul or steal right here.
Two seconds to work with. Kayla Williams will get it on the side. Gets it in, and that will do it as there's no even foul committed there, and LSU survives.
Somehow she was able to get wide open off of that inbounds play, but UVA, wow, what a start. They sustained the effort. A few players got cold, a few players that did not score that we expected to, but nonetheless, LSU is proving why they are the reigning national champs, even though they are without few key players, very key players in this situation. But still, Anissa Murrow, Haley Van Lith, the 2 transfers coming in and showing us why LSU is still on top.
I think it's just the amount of talent, the amount of depth, and that's what every coach thinks about when you say you can compete for another title, and especially an opportunity to go back-to-back. Who's going to be able to step up? We saw a lot of different players be able to do that for LSU tonight.
Yeah, players coming off the bench. Del Rosario getting her first start of her career and comes in and plays hard on the offensive and defensive side. You know, we saw players, FloHoops Johnson is not somebody who scored a lot, but 15 boards to go along with her stat line, just 6 points, but the way she rebounded, the way she and Morrow inside attacked the glass, I think that was the game changer because those rebounds are what secured the win for LSU.
Yeah, FloHoops Johnson definitely impacted the game with creating second chance opportunities for her squad, and I just think it's very interesting how you say, how do different people lead? And for her to have 15 rebounds, she had 11 in a game prior to this, so her season high in rebounds. It's pretty impressive. Anissa Morrow with her season high as well. 37 points, and I really felt like she could have gone for the 40-point mark, but you could tell that they were managing the game down the stretch. But what an opportunity for Virginia as they will split their tournament looks here and their wins here, and LSU will go 2-0 as they will see another team that was here in the tournament, but they did not face in Virginia Tech. That'll be a rematch of the Final Four, and that will be for the SEC ACC Challenge. So it's been a fun third game. Kelly, gear up, grab your tea, whatever you need to do, water on hand. We got another one to close out this tournament. Kansas, UConn on the way after the break.
Nice.